Well, I would say good evening, good evening, good evening, but there is nobody in here. All right. I don't know what's going on with this YouTube, right? It's 4:02, right? Been live for a minute. And it almost feels like every time we're able to you know, go live, come together, all this stuff, right? This is crazy, right? Because here we are ready to start. Everybody's yeah, I mean, all the alerts went out. Let me go ahead and try to share it one more time share it on the what's it called, and see if we can get a few more people in here. Oh man, this morning show had me pumped up. And I don't know, like sometimes there's those shows, right, where it's like the spirit takes over, right? And you don't remember exactly what happened. And I'm sure it wasn't anything miraculous, but I knew instinctually, like it was like all I could say is just praise God, right? Praise God, man. Hey, what's up, man? Almost in America. Oh man, it's good to see you, brother. Especially since yeah, it's been hard times, man. But I'm glad to see you, man. I'm glad to see you're doing good here. Are you doing okay? We gotta have you on the show one of these days, you know. Hey, did you guys see the did you see the show this morning? I don't know if you caught it or whatever. But see, I don't mind having people on with different views or whatever. Yeah, how about can we do it like tomorrow? Is it okay if we do it tomorrow? Like in the afternoon? Wait, what's today? What is today? Oh, I hope it's not Thursday and I forgot her again. Okay, no, Wednesday. So Friday afternoon? That would be cool. I'd be cool with that. We'll probably do panels. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I wanted to talk about the show today, so I'm waiting for a few more people to come in, right? So that way. Okay, if you are, just pop in and then we'll do that, because I wanted to make sure that today, for this show, I wanted to talk about the show earlier today, and so I kind of want, there's kind of a teaching moment I want to add to it, because I think it's important to test all things, and when there's let's say somebody wants to show you something, right, in the Bible, and it's something that right off the bat doesn't sound right, there is a way, there is a template, right, in the Bible set up, right, for how to handle those things, right? It doesn't say close yourself off to all things, right? Test all things, hold fast to what is true. And a lot of times, right, a lot of times what will happen is well, here's the thing, right? If somebody knows something different than what I know, that makes me excited, right? Especially if I trust the person and I know them to be a pretty stable person, right? And Like I'm like, oh, okay, well, in their scripture, not in any other kind of way, but in script, if they're solid in scripture and they have good spiritual fruit, you're like, okay, well, I want to sit down and I want to learn something because it's different than what I know. And so, but it could also be hard to let go of like your old previous beliefs, right? Like it's difficult to let go of things that you may have learned from somebody maybe that you loved while you were growing up. Maybe there was a good pastor that was very well meaning, or maybe there's a parent, mother, father, right, that I could give him your number. I'll have to send him like $1 or something like that so I could put it. I'll send you like $1 and put it in the message, okay? Is that cool? I wish it was more, my friend, man. It's been really tough for me too. And yeah, I'll do all that, Michael. I'll do all that. Yeah, I want you to be able to connect to him. And so like I think it's important to explore these different ideas, right? Especially like where we're at now, we're gonna have to test all things, right? And there's gonna be subjects that are gonna be uncomfortable for people to learn. And I get it, right? But think about that one subject in the Bible that you're really passionate about, and then think about how much pushback you get from it, right? And I think that when you're in a group of people that you trust, right? I'll take care of it, homeless America. I'll put it up, okay? I said I'll take care of you, bud. And so there's these opportunities to learn, right? Like there are these opportunities to say, okay, well, you think something different than me, and we see eye to eye on our spiritual fruit, right? Like, let's take a look at that. Now, sometimes you're going to encounter somebody that's, you can tell by the spirit, right? Like the spirit of the person. Like sometimes you end up in this like debate type spirit where it's like somebody's trying to trap you in trying to get you to say yes to this verse and no to that verse so they could trap you some kind of way. And that's not a good spirit of like trying to learn or whatever. It's like it's kind of like how the Pharisees were when they were trying to trap Jesus and getting him to answer the questions their way. It's all planned to trip you up. And then there's people that will want to get angry or upset and loud, and you can tell this, right, when you're not falling for the deception, right? That's when people get the most mad, right? Like when they read off of half a verse or something and they want it to mean something different than what it says, then sometimes if you catch that, right, and say no, that's not what that is, right? People get upset, man. They get upset. And yeah, why? What's going on, homeless America? What's going on, my brother? Well, you're welcome here. You're welcome to be here and listen. I'll give you my number too, man. When you should have my number. I don't know why you're not calling me already, but let me get through this show and I'll give you my number and I'll give you Mike's number and we'll figure. I don't know. We'll do what we can. it's just sad, kind of like that. Like the people that help the most are the people that have the least, you know. And it's I remember when I was homeless myself, right? Uh, I guess I can go off on this tangent, right? When I was homeless myself, right? Um, I sat outside this flower shop, right, where all these flowers cost thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Like it was right across the street from Stanford University. I mean, flowers that cost thousands of dollars, right? And and you know, sitting out front, you know, asking for change, right? Nobody would even give me a dime, dude. You know, and I get it that I'm not supposed to have any expectation of that, right? But it really baffled me, man, that there would be people that could spend that much money on flowers, you know, and nothing on a person, you know. And then when I went out to, like, you know, 4 miles from there to a train station that was like in a kind of a poor area, right? People were helping me left and right, you know, and people were going crazy. All right, here I'll drop the link. I mean, I was hoping to get through that what I was saying, but this is important. I know, Michael. Um, Let me get something to drink real quick here. Kind of sucked today because I was trying to find stuff for Tom's wreath. Didn't find anything for my idea of how I wanted to make it. Stores were closed. Did you text me and I didn't get it? Did you text me and I didn't get to you? Faith? Oh, I hope you didn't text me and I was like somehow late or something getting back to you. Here, let me check my text real quick. I can't get to everybody all the time. That's the thing that's hard. Hello? I can't hear you still.
Well,
I
you
tried,
there?
I tried to drop out. Hello? Can you guys see? Oh, he's gone. Hey, damn it. Try to click back on. Were you guys hearing him or was it me that you weren't hearing? Was it me or was it, oh no, Faith, not Ope. Oh, he's back? I don't see him back there. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, what's
Almost
up?
in America. Welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
I'm hanging in there, bro. You can go ahead and talk about whatever you're talking about. I don't want to type out a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
No, you can. I want you to tell me what's going on with this. Go ahead and tell me what's going on, man. How you doing?
Oh, just hanging in there, bro. It's nothing like too bad. Just like kind of irritated at some stuff, but it's nothing anyone can do about it. Just kind of like so. Oh, it's nothing really. I was just on this channel last night. There was like this trivia or whatever, and like winner gets whatever. I don't even know what the prize was, but anyway, I won, and dude was supposed to like I don't know if he was gonna send me something on Cash App or PayPal or whatever, but he just never did. And he's like, "Oh, my girl did. It's pending." Blah blah. And it's like I'm like trying to get a hold of him. Like, dude, no, it's not. Like I don't know if she like typed it in wrong or it's the wrong person because like how sometimes like if you send to someone you never sent, sometimes they have to like accept it or whatever. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing on my thing at all. So I don't know if they like typed it in wrong, it's the wrong person, but he's like, yeah, it's 150 and just like telling me the amount and all this stuff. And it's like, it's not there. So, and he won't answer, he won't respond. And now like, I'm pretty sure I'm blocked from his channel because my comments aren't showing up. And it's like, I don't know if
yeah.
it was just a scam the whole time or what, but I don't know. It's just, it's kind of irritating when you're homeless and you really need stuff and people do that to you. But it's nothing new. I mean, it's not that, but I've had people like plenty of times like, "Hey, I'm gonna help this day." Then I understand stuff happens, but it's just kind of annoying, especially when it's like a trivia thing when it's like I won, so it's not like it's just a donation. I mean, in a sense it is, but I actually won. I didn't just do nothing and expect a donation. It's like a one sum, and I thought it might be like five,
Yeah.
$10. It's like, yeah, 150. We sent it. It's pending, ball, and he like won't answer. It's been hours. Well, he's supposed to send it last night, and then he's like, oh, because I gave him my cash app. He's like, "Oh, well, actually, it's gonna be PayPal, but my girl's sleeping, so I'll do it in the morning." And then the morning comes around, then all of a sudden they're trying to cash app. I'm like, "Why didn't you just cash app it last night?" Like, I don't know. It just almost seems like a big scam, dude. Anyway, but yeah, that's why I'm
Like you said,
irritated, dude. It's nothing like too bad. It's just it's really annoying, especially when you're homeless and you have nothing. You think you might get $150, and then just nope, nothing.
yeah.
So that's it.
It's.
I just didn't want to type out a bunch of stuff, but yeah,
I
it
was
gets
trying to
annoying.
like. I was trying to like put myself in that position, right? Like, I mean, that's devastating, man. You're
You
like,
know what I
wow,
mean?
150, man. That could take care of me all night. Like, that's a
You know
whole.
what I
That's a bed. That's a food. Couple. What? I don't know if you smoke cigarettes. Maybe a pack of smokes. You
Yeah,
know,
here
and
and there when I can afford to. I really honestly don't, because especially nowadays. So I don't know if you've been following my channel. I don't know. You're probably not subbed to my
once in a
channel, but
while.
like I got a
I'm
job like
sorry.
I got
Yeah.
a job a month and a half ago. I got a car like
Oh, good, man.
so. Yeah, I'm living in a car now, but gas is like $6 a gallon. So it's like kind of the worst time for that to happen. But especially right now, like I need that. I need that for gas. I need that for food. Like that's what I'm saying, dude. It's just like and I don't expect anything. Like with the whole time I've had my channel, I've literally had like probably at least 30 different times where someone's like, "Oh, I'll help you, but I don't get paid till Friday." And then the Friday comes around and I message them,
Yeah.
whatever, and they're nowhere to be found, which is fine. Like I said, I understand stuff happens, but in this situation, it's just kind of messed up when it's like I won a giveaway or a trivia. It's like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Wow, man.
and then like the fact that like I've messaged him, I like found his email, I emailed him, like I even sent him like a $1 request on Cash App and was like, hey, because I don't know if like they just couldn't find my Cash App or what, but I'm like, this is my Cash App. Gave him my phone number, gave him all this stuff. Was like, call me, but won't call me, won't email me, won't
Well,
respond to my
well,
comments. It's like, dude, what
well,
the hell's going
well, well,
on? Like,
well, listen to this, right? I mean, Faith here says that she can't help with 150, but she wants to do something for you. You know?
oh, Faith, I would really
Mm,
appreciate that. Yeah, I
mm,
remember one time I think she said she sent some, but I don't know if it was like under her husband's name or something, so I didn't know because I didn't want to like she didn't tell me his name, so I don't know. But yeah, if you could, Faith, I'd appreciate it. I don't know if you want my info, what you need, PayPal, Cash App, whatever. But I mean,
Here,
Steve knows my Cash App, but it's all on
all
my
right.
about section of my channel either way. If she, I don't know if she's a mod and she can go there, but I can give the info, whatever. I'd really
Yeah,
appreciate it. I mean, anything, I don't
she,
care if it's $5,
she's
a dollar.
she.
Like Steve, you've helped me with the dollar plenty of times. $1 helps, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know.
There's been times where all I could send is $1, but I do it. Like if that's what I have, I send it.
Yeah, even though
And,
nowadays a dollar ain't nothing, but like I said, if a few people send $1, hey, that's half a gallon of gas or
right,
whatever. You know what I mean? Food, whatever. But
yeah. Well,
yeah,
see, I started that because like I'm super broke, right? Because of the I live on a military pension, but I always started this thing with my kids, right? Where every time they ask me for money, right, I always say yes, right? But
Oh
it's
yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Faith. Oh,
sometimes sometimes
dude,
it's
I
a
have Venmo.
no,
It's
but
Northwest 425.
oh,
Northwest
okay.
425. So sorry, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead. She asked if I had Venmo, so I just wanted to give it to her.
Yeah,
But yeah, you
Vim,
live on a
yeah.
military pension and you're in California. Yeah, that probably doesn't last long. Yeah.
Right, right. No, so like I have this like policy, right? Like every time my kids ask me for money, I always say yes, right? Even if I
Right.
don't have it. But like here's the thing, right? Like I won't always give them what they're asking me. Sometimes they ask me for $50 and I'm like, "Well, here's $10. I get you started," you know? But
Right. Yeah.
you know, but like it for some reason it makes the relationships go better. You know, I don't know why, like an outright no, right? As opposed to, hey, I got like $7, man. Here you go. Right. Somehow that like um even though it's not much more than zero, right? It like changes the relationship to instead of it changes it from a no to I'm willing to give you everything if I have it, you know? And I don't know. I always thought that that's always helped me, right? Because there's other types of currency in the world, right? And I had to learn this when I was homeless myself, right? Is sometimes, your friendship, your time, like how you care about others, all these things are worth something, right? Maybe it's a spaghetti dinner, maybe it's a shower, maybe you even get to stay in their house, right? Who knows,
Right.
right? Depending on what kind of connection you make, right? And so I was outside this train station, right? The one I was telling you about in the last story. And I used to ask for change, right? And I would get change. I mean, like I'd ask for change, they give me a handful of change or a buck or two, or I would say like, hey, can you help me out with a couple dollars, And it was a pretty good spot for that, right? But then like at some point I just stopped, right? And I was like, every time I saw somebody, I just said hello. I didn't ask nobody for nothing, but people had seen me there long enough to where some people still gave me something as they walked by. But like I
Yeah.
just started saying hello to everybody. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, what's going on? And after like a few days, maybe a week, people were coming up to me, right? And they were like, hey, I noticed that you're always in the same clothes or whatever, like what's your deal, where do you work at, and I tell them my story, and instead of like me getting like change from them for like 2 or 3 days or whatever, out of the week, I ended up, getting invited to their house, right? Like they'll give me a job for like a week, or I don't know, walk their dog every day for a couple bucks or whatever. It's like all these weird opportunities started to open up for me, man. And I don't know, it really helped me with my faith. It really helped me with what I was struggling with. Of course, like my story is that addiction put me there, on the street. So I mean, a lot of that was things that I had to overcome. But man, it's a rough deal out there. And then I start thinking about you up there in Minnesota or somewhere up there, right in the north,
No,
Washington.
I'm in Seattle. Hey, Faith, it's
It
the
is
same.
cold.
Faith, it's the same as my Venmo. It's the dollar sign and then Northwest 425. Sorry, bro, but she was
Yeah.
trying to share my
No,
Cash
that's
App with
good.
someone or something. But yeah, it's the same
No,
thing as
that's
my Venmo. It's Northwest 425. But yeah, bro, I'm pretty much in Seattle. I'm like 20 miles north of Seattle, but it's not as bad as
cold.
Minnesota in the winter. But it does get pretty bad in the winter. But it
Yeah.
ain't like Minnesota, that's for sure. But
No,
it's pretty bad.
I don't know why I was thinking Minnesota, but because I've only been to Minnesota one time. I was like, it was a flight transfer on the way to Atlanta from
Yeah.
California, and all I did was walk through that tunnel, right? Like from the plane to the. I didn't even go outside, man. I just I walked in from the plane to the terminal, and man, it was so cold, man. And just in that tunnel from the plane, I was like, no way. I'm like, your skin will come off if you go outside, man. Like it was that cold, man. I was like, oh, this is horrific, man. But yeah, that would be much worse. Oh, he
Uh,
says we're in Seattle. This is
yeah,
Bubba saying we're in Seattle.
yeah. I'm not in Seattle, bro. I'm 20 miles north of Seattle. I'm in Everett,
Okay,
Washington. So it's pretty much Seattle. I mean, if you're not from here, I would just say Seattle because you probably don't know the towns around here. But yeah, I'm in Everett,
so
Washington. It's a Navy-based town and stuff. So,
oh, I get it.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been to Atlanta too. What, Fort Benning or whatever? Is that where you were?
No, it was kind of a long way to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. We had to take a puddle jumper from there, like a real small plane from Atlanta to what was it?
South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina, but like I'm trying to think, Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh,
And
okay, yeah, I
yeah, but
got you.
I've been to that Atlanta airport like so many times because it's like a main hub, you know. It's huge, that airport.
Yeah, I've
You
been there. Yeah.
you gotta take like a train, man, to get to the next. Oh man, it's huge. And if you could see the one out here in Sacramento, you would think that like a state capital, right? It would be big. It's not that big, man. But that one in Atlanta is huge, man. It's like the one in Denver, man. Except the one in Denver is real nice.
Oh, nice. He knows the area. Yeah, I was born in Bothell, actually. I was born in a house, so there's like no hospital, but yeah, I was born in my grandma's house in Bothell. It's funny, it's not far from here. It's pretty close to where I'm at now, but yeah, that's cool.
How did that happen? Like, how were you? How were you born in a house? They just couldn't get to the hospital on time, or it was a choice
Uh,
you made, or
yeah, no, my mom chose that.
yeah.
Faith, it's all good. Like I said, I've had no worries, you know. Like I've had that happen so many times where someone, yeah, I can do it, but not till this day. That never happened. So like, it's all good. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I'd
No,
appreciate it, but no worries if not. So.
she will. She will face good. That's the thing, right? Like I don't know. A lot of people here are good. I don't know like what your experience is with the people in my group are, but it seems like I mean everybody that I've had here has been real, like just a real dependable, stable person, you know.
Yeah,
And
well,
I'm
it's
just
not even
like,
that the people aren't dependable. It's yeah, I know stuff happens. You know what I mean? I know like if your car breaks down or something, obviously the last thing you're gonna do is help me. But I'm just saying, you know, like it's happened so many times that I'm to the point where I do, obviously, which I shouldn't anyway. Like I don't expect anything because I've had that happen. Like I even had someone they said they were gonna buy me like groceries at a store. Like yeah, what store and all this stuff. So I told them the store, and I was like literally waiting at the store for 3 hours, and they just never hit me back. And then like a few days later, like oh yeah, my phone crapped out. It's like yeah, sure it did, whatever. But it's just like you know. I'm not saying that anyone like purposely does that. I'm just saying like so many times, bro. I'm not even joking. At least 30 times it's happened. Like so I know stuff happens, but and like even like you know people plan to help, but you know something will come up or whatever. So it's all good. It's just or sometimes they just forget. I mean, it is what it is, you know. And plus, it's like a donation. It's not like I did. Other than that trivia thing, it's not like I did something for it, so I shouldn't be expecting anything either way. And that was something else I was gonna say. Like fact that I have a job and whatnot. You know, I'm not just one of those homeless people just sitting there doing nothing and expecting help because
yeah.
I wouldn't want to help someone either that's just, you know, sitting there doing nothing. So,
Where are you working at now?
yes, Faith. Jack in the Box, bro.
Oh, but that's cool, man. Don't. That's hey, look. I worked at an In-N-Out hamburger, right? This is when I was 26. I mean, I already had kids. This was after I got out of the military, right? I felt embarrassed about that, right? But it was the
Yeah.
best year of my life, dude. It was the best year of my life, man. I dated probably one of the best girls I've ever dated in my life. She was just a total sweetheart. We lived in a hotel, like I mean, it was we lived on the cheap, right? But man, I remember that being like one of the best years of my life, man. And so yeah, I mean, day by day, right? You take one day at a time and do what you can. And I admire you for that, man. You know?
Yeah, the thing that sucks, I don't know how it is in Cali, but here, so like if you work 40 hours a week, then it's state law. They have to give you a hour of vacation for every 40 hours you work. So like
Yeah,
it's pretty much almost not impossible, but it's hard to find full time. What they'll do is they'll just give you like 30 hours a week. That way they don't have to give you the vacation. So I'm only working part time, you know, but especially
yeah,
now with the gas and all that, it's dude, it's expensive, bro. And then when I first got the car, so my aunt passed away, and that's how I got the car, but it needed to be fixed up. It needed like an alternator and battery and radiator and tires and all this stuff. So like my first two checks were instantly gone to that because the checks were only like 600, 650 or whatever. Then So the first 2 checks were completely gone, and then my last check, I actually literally just got paid on this last Friday, but I missed 2 days. I was sick for a while, like 3 days, but I missed 2 days of work. But anyway, so that check was only like 400. I got like 200 bucks worth of food. Got a hotel for 2 nights. That was 160. Then I put like $38 in gas, and that's all I had. So it's
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, like I
It is
said,
what
it's
it is,
at
man.
least I have like shelter or whatever instead of staying in a tent. But I've already had people call the cops numerous times. Like I said this before on
Yeah.
my channel. Like pretty much when I lived in a tent, I literally get harassed less than living in a car. People will call the cops on you just for living. Like if they walk by your car and they see, you can tell when someone lives in a
Yeah,
car. They got
but
stuff everywhere.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll
messed
do
up.
that just to harass you, man. Just to like you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I'm just trying to get a nap, but like they'll call the cops and say, yeah, this guy's in his car. He's looking at us creepy, and you're like, come on, man, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just in here in my car trying to take a nap, and I'm not doing nothing to nobody. But they'll say that you are, like that you're like, looking at their house or casing out the neighborhood or something.
Yeah, and I even had people call and say, "Oh, this car's been here for weeks," and I was literally there for like 3 hours. It's like, dude. Of course, the
Oh
cops, they
man.
don't care. I mean, they either know the person's lying, but either way, they have to come. But the rule in my city is you have 3 days. You can park somewhere for 72 hours illegally, and
Yeah.
then you just have to move one intersection every 72 hours. But that doesn't mean people aren't going to call the cops. So. But I
Yeah.
think what it is mostly they like assume you're a criminal or something. So they think if they call the cops, like you have warrants or something, you're probably going to go to jail. But I literally have no criminal record, no nothing. So every time the cops come, nothing happens. They just say, "Hey, keep it moving" or whatever. But
Have you been able to like witness to people and get in your Bible and stuff like that? Like what's
you mean like being homeless or whatever?
yeah.
Not really, bro. I don't know, Bubba. Well, I don't know how long ago he lived here, but my area is pretty bad, bro. Like with the drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't go to shelters. I don't do none of that. Like everybody, if you go to a shelter, it's all like heroin addicts and meth heads and stuff. Like pretty much the shelter is just a place for like drug addicts to sleep and be able to connect with other drug addicts and stuff. So I don't really hang around with anyone, bro. Just me and my girl. So
Yeah.
it's pretty bad here. I don't know where you were homeless, but here it's really bad, bro. Like
San
there's a
Francisco.
channel on YouTube called Tweakerville Cam. It's like a camera in my city that points towards this where the men's shelter is. It's like pointing at an intersection. There's tons of homeless people there, and they're just all tweaked out and shit. It's called the Tweakerville Cam. It's crazy, dude. It's like what the hell? That's how crazy my city is, dude.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I was in San Francisco, and it was definitely crazy out there. And
Oh
like
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's like Seattle, pretty much. Yeah.
I didn't get like so much a chance to witness to other people, but I did have like there were other people I did talk about God to. And I don't know what my salvation status was at that time. I was still struggling, and I didn't know much about God until I became an adult, because I wasn't really raised with like a religion or church in my house or anything like that. And so but I was able to kind of get to know God way more, talk to God one on one, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
and believe it or not, it did strengthen my faith in God, because a lot of times I had to like rely on him, like because I didn't have nothing else or no one else. Just like, okay, God, this if you're up there, right? I need you right now. And
Yeah. True.
you know that kind of thing. But like I would say, like, because I'm always like 2 steps away from homelessness. Like I never have like a ton of money, right? But like it's like I always think about that, like what would I do, right? And I don't know, like other than trying to get off the street, I probably would be talk like, I don't know, if I couldn't talk to other people about God, I probably would just be like trying to get strong on like my relationship probably with him. He has all the power, that, right?
Oh yeah, I mean we are on Satan's world,
I've been in those
which really
situations,
you can
man.
tell that this is definitely Satan's world with how evil the world is. But yeah, it's definitely God's creation. But yeah, and I know what you're talking about like you understand, like no matter
Yeah.
what, if you're living check to check or whatever, like you're pretty
Yeah.
much everyone's one step away from homelessness. I mean, unless you have family or whatever to go live with, which I've explained this because my channel is Homeless in America, so I have people coming in all the time and asking how I became homeless and this and that. And I don't know if you know, it's kind of a long story, but well, not really. Basically, dude, I had a good job. I was making 25 bucks an hour and whatnot. And then the company I worked for actually, it was a union job and all that, so they were getting rid of the union and they were moving 60 miles south. So if you wanted to keep your job, you had to like reapply and then you had to move 60 miles south. And obviously, there's no guarantee you keep your job. I mean, you might, but then you lose all your seniority and benefits and pretty much start. I mean, it was going to corporate. So the good thing about the union is everybody made the same thing. So basically, you don't know what would happen. So basically, I just, instead of like trying to move and all that, I just tried to get a different job and stick around. And I didn't really think about it at that time. So my rent was 1,800. I was making 25 bucks an hour plus working like voluntary overtime every week, so I was doing fine. But when I took a different job, it was
Wow.
minimum wage, bro, and it was at a grocery store. It was just like 40 hours a week, and I couldn't even pay my rent with that. So I didn't really do the math, and like I didn't really think about it. But basically, if I didn't take that job and I just kind of waited it out, like I waited till the company like actually, because I like left pretty much like a month early before they actually closed up shop and whatnot, and went and got a different job. But if I would have just stayed, I would have got like a severance package and all that. So I would have got like
Mhm.
I think $7,000 or something like that, and but no, I didn't. I took another job because I thought that was the right thing to do. Like just keep working, and not stick around and just wait. But got a different job, and I only worked there for like a week and realized, hey, this ain't even gonna pay my rent. So I tried to see if I could like get unemployment or whatever. And the mess up thing was they actually approved me for it. First they denied me, but I like fought it or whatever, and then I won. But then they're like, oh well, since you work there, you only get paid. I got paid for 2 weeks is what I got paid for, so I got like $1,000 or something. But it would have been like 10,000 or 7,000 or whatever if I just stayed. I didn't know
Mhm.
like at the time either. I don't know. I'm sure it's different every state, but like if you ever like lose a job or whatever and you try to get unemployment and if you take a job in the meantime, you'll lose that unemployment. You know what I mean? You have to wait till it's all said and done figure out if you get it or not. And then if you do get it, you'll get paid all the way up till that time. But I didn't know how it worked. If I would have just sat tight and just waited, I would have got a lot more money, dude. And then I only had 2 months left on my lease too, so I could have easily paid those 2 months rent. And so but I didn't. So I had an eviction. I had a car that got repossessed. Like just pretty much a bunch of BS happened all because of that. I mean, at one point or at first I had a storage unit and stuff, because I had like a little bit of money, but after a few months, I couldn't even pay that, so I lost everything I own. And I have an eviction here. I think it's nationwide, but when you get evicted, that lasts like 7 years on your credit score or whatever. So, and I don't know about there, but here, if you have an eviction, it's pretty hard to get a place. You might be able, you could probably rent like a private room or something, but as far as like getting on a lease and all that, that's not going to happen. Not with an eviction, not unless you're like paying on it or something. But yeah, so
It's really
that's
hard on
pretty
your
much what
credit.
happened, bro. I know it's a long story, but yeah, I mean, it could happen to anyone. That's what I'm saying. At any point, you could be working
Yeah.
somewhere, then you lose your job, and I mean, I didn't have family to go to either, so I guess that's a big part of it. Because I'm sure most people could just go to their parents' house or whatever, but that just wasn't an option for me. So, anyways, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've had so
Yeah.
many people like, "Oh, you're just a bumbo," and you know how it is. There's trolls on YouTube. I mean, I'm sure you
Oh,
get
yeah.
satanic trolls all the time, but
People always
it is.
having the wrong idea and stuff, and some people are just mean on purpose. They know the truth, but they're just mean, troll you anyway.
Yeah,
That's what's up,
yeah, I get
Michael? Michael.
Not much, buddy. Just listening.
Oh, okay. All right, all
How
right.
y'all doing?
Well, welcome to the show. I always welcome everybody. So
How's it
I
Well,
do
going,
no
Mike?
this.
sympathy for this. I've been there. Like I've been homeless, man, since I was like 19, 20
Yeah.
years old, like on and off, but like, and I've been in some bad situations, man. Like I've been like in the woods with nothing, no money, no food. And like I would struggle without food for like 2 days, man. But like I could like always like call on the Lord in that situation, man, and find peace and still find peace and still find joy. And he would pull me out, man. Every bad situation I've ever been in, man, he was there to pull me out, like in unbelievable ways. Like he's just always there taking care of me, man, making sure, but that also comes with, like calling on him and asking him for help and believing that he will and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like looking back on it, right? Of course, dude, every day of being homeless sucks, and like the thought of going back to it, right, is the even like once you're off the street and you got to go back to the street, that's hard, man. And I get that, right?
Yeah.
But like if I think about that time, right, um, not that I'd ever want to do it again, right? But it did change me uh in ways that I could like use now, like the level of toughness that I have now compared to what it was before is way different. Like my idea of a bad day changed, and so I like, number one, like I admire the fact that you went and got a job, even though it might not even have been enough, right? You still did it, right? To be productive. I admire that. And then also, I relate to a lot of that, man. And I know that it's hard, man. I'll give you my number, man. If you ever need to talk or anything like that, man, you can call me in between shows and stuff like that, man. And stay
And
connected.
don't worry about the people who's like out there making worldly judgments against you, man, thinking that, calling you a bum or whatever, shaking their head at you. Don't worry about these people, because what's wrong with these people is their heart, their own heart. It's a problem with them, not a problem with you. It's nothing you did wrong. That's just their terrible judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Don't
had
worry about the ones who are trying to help you and befriend you and be nice and things like that, and they look past all that mess.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like what you're saying about worldly. Like I've had people. This one guy, he's like a Christian. He's like, well, I can't. He's like, I'm Christian. I can't lie. And like basically, because dude, the only way to get a job, like you have to lie and tell them you're not homeless. If you tell them you're homeless, they're not gonna hire you. So it's like I know it's not the most Christian thing to do, but I mean, just pray to
Yeah,
God that
right.
He forgives you for lying. But if you tell them, like this guy's like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, dude, you're not gonna get hired, bro. Like I had to lie to get the job. I had to tell him I'm living with my dad or whatever, but. Like I'm telling you, that's just how the world is. You can't tell them you're homeless; they're not going to hire you, bro. It's just how it is. And it took a while for me
Yeah.
to get a job. Like I have to shower in a sink or what, you know what I mean? Bird bath or whatever they call it, where you kind of
Yeah.
shower up in a sink or whatever. But yeah, like I understand, like it's not the most Christian thing to do to lie, but you do what you got to do, right, to get a job. And I mean, it's not like God's not going to forgive you for lying so you can get a job. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, I was praying, a few months ago, and I was like talking to God about this very thing, man. That like you almost can't go outside and interact with anybody without sinning anymore. It's always something, right? You're always gonna have some kind of like envying or lust or lying or even little stuff that like you think you can justify, and you're like, man, like God, get us out of here, like I mean this place is
Yeah.
crazy. I don't like, trust me, I don't want to sin again, like against everything in my being. I don't want to. But it's like it's at the point now where I mean, shoot, eating a Twinkie and watching TV there's something in that I know that's messed up, right? And I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
man, how can
Right.
we avoid? How can we avoid? How like it's really hard, man. It's really hard, man. Especially if
It
if
is.
you're in a disadvantaged situation you're trying to get out of. I mean, man, it's darn near impossible, man. It's darn near impossible.
dude, at least you understand that because I had this. I mean, I know there's a lot of different Christians that believe different stuff, but there's this one guy that he said, If you sin, you're not saved." I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, there's actually Christians out there that think like once you're saved, you don't sin. I'm like, dude, everybody sins. Like, no matter how good of a Christian you are, no matter what, you're always gonna sin. Like, we're in this world. Like, I understand that you try not to and stuff when you're saved, but no matter what, you're gonna sin at some point. Like, I don't know. I know everybody believes different stuff. If someone believes that once you're saved, you don't sin, that's fine, but that's not what I believe. I believe no matter
Yeah.
what, we're on
I
this
mean,
earth,
there's
you're
so
gonna
many
sin. I
things.
mean, that's part of like why we're forgiven, because the human DNA is so corrupt. So
I think like all things are possible with Christ in us, right? So I think it's possible. I don't think it's very likely that people will go their life without sinning. Like that doesn't seem realistic to me. But I know that it's possible, right? Just because the word says it. But I mean, shoot, I struggle with it every day, and I barely leave the house. So I don't know. Like I like it would like there. I would like nothing more than just to be living in the spirit all the time and not worry about sin. But I don't see that as being realistic. There's only one perfect man, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jesus. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like, unless you're Jesus, you sin, dude. Like, period. No matter what. Like, there's no way you're not gonna sin. No matter how hard you try, eventually you will. Even if you can go days without sinning, which I don't even think I can go one day just because the world
Right.
we live in, you know? Like I
Right.
said, even if you think something, that's a sin, you know, lust or whatever. If you think whatever, yeah, I forget the
Sure.
verse, but you know what I'm talking about. If you think of another man's wife, whatever, in your head, then you've already committed adultery in your heart, or you know what I'm
All right.
talking about. Whatever, it's like it's
Sure.
impossible. So that's my thoughts on it, anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean, I've
100%. That's correct.
I've changed my view on it, like over the over the last year, learning more, but what do I know, man? You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I struggle with it. I don't think it's because like there's times, right, where I've really wanted to live like the perfect day, right? Like I don't want to sin at all today, right?
Yeah,
And then even on days where you think you nailed it, right? And then you think back on your whole day, you're like, oh man, I'm a wretch, man. I'm the worst. You're like, I could have done this or could have done that. I mean, it will make you crazy if you really like focus that, because then it makes you really kind of self-centered too, like always focused on yourself,
right.
And,
Dude, that's another thing. Like, I'll kind of, I guess, flip flop back and forth on stuff. Like, what do you think about like Calvinism or whatever? You know what that is, right? Where it's like
I
basically
I
once saved,
don't.
always saved, or like pretty much no matter what, you're saved. Like, I don't know. Like, I used to really believe that. Then like sometimes, because I mean, I don't know. If you think about it, like, yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, it could be kind of a bad thing. Like, if you just think, oh, no matter what, God's gonna forgive me, so I can just, you know what I mean? I can just do whatever I want. It's all good. But like, I don't know, because I follow this one pastor guy, and he said like he believed that for years, and then he actually died and went to hell or whatever for believing that, he thinks, and now he's like all about just, which is, it's cool. I mean, he helped me out stuff. He's like all about helping the homeless, and he thinks like, but he thinks it's all about works. And at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I kind of fly back and forth on that, but I don't think like it's all about works. But then again, if you think, oh well, no matter what, I believe Jesus died for my sins, so I'm good, I don't have to do this or I don't have to do that, that's kind of a bad way of looking at it too, you know what I mean? I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's one I kind of go back and forth on sometimes.
Well, like
Yeah, well, we don't
from
use grace for an opportunity to sin. Like we don't use like I know I don't. I don't sit there and say, hey, I'm saved. So now that I'm saved, I'm gonna go pick up a weapon and start shooting people because I can do it now. I'm free to do it. Like no,
Right,
we don't look at it
that's
that
what I'm
way. We're
saying.
kind of like
what
sick. We're still like we're in our sin, that we're normally
what
in,
wait a
and
second, wait a
we
second. What were you saying? I didn't get any of that.
just
What were you saying?
we
You're
don't use
saved?
grace as an opportunity for sin. So we don't use it as an opportunity to go commit sins.
Right, yeah. Okay, Lee, I thought you said something about a weapon or something like that. I was trying to figure out what you were saying.
Oh, it was just an example. He was
I mean,
saying
I was
like,
gonna
"Oh, I'm
as
sin, or I'm saved, so I can go commit whatever sin I
an
want. And it's all
example.
good because God forgives me."
Okay.
Basically, what he was saying.
Okay. Cool. Carry on. Well, I'll say this, like in my own my own experience, right? Being saved, right? Like, or going through my own process of salvation, right? I love God, right? Like I don't know, like I can't I like in my head I can't imagine a person that would believe that Jesus died for their sins, right? And took that abuse, right? And for them, and then just two middle fingers up, do what they want. Now, I know there's people that still struggle with things, that it's hard for them to stop doing these things, right? And so no one's, you might not start off perfect in that way. It might take a while to get there, right? But like, if I don't know what, like when my relationship with God became that I love him, right? You know, you want to do what, you know, Michael dropped out. You want to do what they want you to do. You know what I mean? Like you start liking things that they like. You love the things they love, and then like when you get the Holy Spirit, right? It's like you almost start hating sin, right? Just you know, like watching TV isn't the same, or listening to music isn't the same. You know, even if like say like you smoke cigarettes or had a habit or whatever, like you're aware of it, right? You're aware of like, oh wow, this is maybe I should try to stop this or something like that, you know? It's a whole new, like you almost become like a new creature, right? Whereas before, right, I wouldn't have ever thought about that. Like I would have just done what I do, you know? But like I can't imagine somebody that's like realistically like that knows God, right, and is saved, right? That's just like, oh, I'll just chill and do whatever I want. There's always some kind of awareness and some kind of change in their life, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't look at it now. Like I used to try to define it, right? And
Right.
it's like you almost can't define it to like people that aren't spiritual people, right? What the power of the cross is. I know in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 15 through 17, it's like the power, like to those that are perishing, the power of the cross, right? It's like foolishness, right? Of course, I'm paraphrasing there, right? They don't get the grace, the amount of grace that it is. But I know that it doesn't. So with all that said, with what I just said about my relationship with God, I know that the grace of Jesus is humongous. Like it covers all sin. It could be an offensive amount of grace. People do get offended by the gospel, right? Like he covers all sin. He's all power. He's everything, right? And so it's hard to explain like in a definition to somebody, well, just do this, and this, check these boxes, right?
Yeah.
Where I think that like if you believe that God is real and you love him and you want that, you want to confess him as Lord and you want him in your life, he'll take care of everything for you, you know? That's what I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're saying about, you know, Jesus is the way, man, and that's like Muslims and stuff. They think that it's all about works, you know. They don't obviously believe Jesus is like the way to heaven, so they think it's all about what you do on this earth, like your works, pretty much, which is a really dangerous, you know, phenomenon to have or whatever, in my opinion. But you know, that's just how Christians are, obviously, because we know or think whatever Jesus is the only way to heaven, and he is, but you're looking at it from a different point of view, you know, it makes sense for them, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man, you know, like that's kind of weird that you think
Yeah.
you just have to do good on earth or whatever. Then, because I mean, think about it. There's lots of quote
No, you
unquote
can't.
good people out there, but they don't believe in Jesus. But it's like, are they gonna go to heaven? No, they're not. Sadly, but it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's just, you know, they don't do what you got to do. Like,
You can't work your way into heaven, you know,
that's
like
what I'm saying.
only Jesus can get you in. And I try to view like sin is like a disease, right? Like you know, like if you were born
Yeah.
with a terminal illness, right? It's not your fault, right? But it's in here and it's your problem to deal with, right? And so there's only one person that can heal that, right? If there's one way to take care of it. And so only Jesus can get us out of here. And I think you know, the idea of just letting him and trusting him is like the best thing. It's his, like, this is his creation, his story, right? We're all his characters in this thing, right? And if we trust and believe him, he will get us out of here. He's our hero. He's our savior, right? He's like if you believe in that, right, then he's more than happy to be that for you, you know? And that's what I love so much about God is like just look how he is to other people in the Bible, right? Like how he acts towards other people. That's how he is. That's his nature, right? That's his personality. And think about like, so whenever you have a question, right, would would God send me to hell for this or that, or if I do this or that, right? Think about like, would the God I know do that? You know, I mean, I think everybody's relationship is personal, right? But you know, of course, there's always a precedent set in the Bible that gives you your minimum that you got to do, right? And I think a lot of people focus on that so much and argue over that they lose the sight that like having a relationship with God, a lot of it takes care of itself. Because in love, you will do things that you know never thought you would do, right? Like if you met like the woman of your dreams, you're gonna get married. Um, you know, she likes corn. Oh yeah, I love corn too. Yeah, give me some corn. You know, like you just start liking the things they like because you like them so much, right? And so a lot of that takes care of itself. You know, I think once I don't know. I think the Holy Spirit helps too, right? Like once you get the Holy Spirit, then your spirit starts matching His spirit, right?
Right. And that's what I'm saying about my whole, I don't care about the homeless situation, this and that. I don't care, man. I know if I die today, I know where I'm going, so I really don't care. And like I've said stuff before, like, oh, whatever, who cares? People are like, oh, don't say that. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I know that's bad to say, but it's like at the same time, I don't care for anything on this earth, dude. Like, I don't want to be here, but I don't want to die. But at the same time, like, it's not that big a deal to me. If I go, I go. Like, I'm not gonna try to fight it. I think when it's my time, it's my time. God's gonna take me. I don't think there's anything I can do to stop
That's
that.
right. That's right. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's time to hit that old dusty trail. I enjoyed this show, man. I want you to come on more regular if you want, and it's always good to see you. And if I can help, I will. You know that, right?
Yeah,
And
no
so,
worries, bro. I know a lot of people are struggling, whether you're homeless or not. Everything's so dang expensive now, gas and food and everything else. It's hard, So, but yeah, and Faith, I appreciate you for like sharing my links and stuff throughout the show. And Bubba, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try to come on, bro. Now that I have a car and stuff, like before, it was just hard because it's hard to find somewhere to charge my phone. Now that I have a car, I can charge it with my car. So. Yeah, I'll try to come on more and stuff. I actually was just scrolling and I saw that you were live, so I was like, oh, I'll jump on. But yeah, I'll try to come on more, bro, now that I'm actually like able to keep my phone charged somewhat better and stuff.
Right on, brother. God bless you, man. And so I ended with saying, praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. All glory to God because He deserves it. And pray for the children out there. Pray for anyone being victimized. Pray for each other. It's important. We got to be there for each other. We're here at the end, and Christ isn't divided, right? We all believe in the same Jesus. So, let's try to be there for each other. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, Lord willing, right? Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Right.